The free built-in YouTube video editor is a simple but surprisingly powerful tool for quickly trimming, splicing, and editing your videos online. To show you what it can do in this video, we'll dive in and step through exactly how to edit videos using the new YouTube video editor. Hey, it's Justin Brown here from Primal Video, where we help you amplify your business and brand with video. If you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button, and all the links to everything we mentioned in this video, you can find linked in the description box below. So let's jump into it. Now, if you haven't already stumbled upon it, YouTube has a simple built-in video editor that's designed to help you perform quick edits on your videos without having to waste time re-uploading or downloading your completed live streams. It's great for making simple changes, for trimming or splicing your videos that are already up on YouTube, but you can also use it for other simple edits as well. So to help you get the most out of it, we're going to do a full walkthrough highlighting the key features in the YouTube editor and how to use them. Okay, so we're over on YouTube now. All you need to do is make sure you are signed in to your account and go and navigate through to the video that you would like to edit. Come down the bottom here to edit video, and that'll open it up to edit in the YouTube studio. But to open up the actual YouTube editor itself, then you want to come over here to editor. Now, it may take a little bit to load. You can see here the images have loaded, the sound or the waveforms are now loading here, and it is done. So you can see a visual representation of your video in the timeline here. You can see your audio waveforms. Down the bottom here, we've got our end screen layer as well. And we've also got an option here to add blur. And I will run through these in a minute. But up the top here, you've got your YouTube video itself. If you put your mouse over it, you can see you've got the ability to play, to rewind or skip back 10 seconds, to skip forward 10 seconds, to adjust the volume levels. You can also adjust the playback speed here as well if you want to play back in slower speed or faster speed, and you can also maximize or full screen your video there too. You can zoom in and out on the timeline here just using the slider here for more detail or to get more accuracy with your editing. You've got your undo and redo buttons up the top here in case you make any mistakes or you do anything you want to undo. Over here, you can cancel out or discard all of your changes, and you've got your save button up here as well. Now, under these three little dots here, you can access the keyboard shortcuts for this. So if you're looking to speed up your editing in here, or even for some greater control, then you've got access to all of those keyboard shortcuts listed out here. Okay, so we'll close out of this now. Now, before we jump into it, I do want to say that this is a live stream that I'm editing here. This was video one of a 3-part live training workshop that we ran on our channel. So this was a live stream. Everything that we're going to cover in here and all the tools and features and things will work exactly the same for a live video to your channel as a regular video for your channel. So it's not just limited to one or the other. So the first thing we'll do is come over here to trim, and I'll show you what you're able to do in here in regards to trimming and splicing out sections of your video. So we'll click on trim, and you can see straight away that we are in the trim mode because all of this area here has gone blue. Now let's say in this example, because it is a live stream, that we would want to remove the start part of it. So it could be where I'm welcoming people in. It could be where I'm just doing quick last minute checks to make sure that everything is good before we actually start the presentation. So down here somewhere, here we go. I kick into some PowerPoint slides or Keynote slides. We might want to remove this start here. So we can zoom in using the arrows here to zoom in and to get more control over it and make sure that we're editing and cutting to the right place. We can simply click through our timeline here until the slides come up. We can also use the audio waveforms as a gauge. You can see that it's gone quiet here. There's not much going on. There's not much visually there on the graph. And then up here is where I start talking. The graph gets bigger, which means I'm talking. So all I've got to do is scrub our timeline across so I can see the start. I want to come back across here, grab this left side and move it across to this point here. And that is now our new start point. So if we hit preview here now, this is previewing our finished video. If we hit play, you can see that we can't come back here to this section. This section is now no longer in our end video product. Our video is now going to start at this point. So if we come back here and hit play, it's going to start from there. Got it. So our video now starts there. Really simple. So you might want to start by trimming off the start. If there's any extra stuff at the end, you could come down to the end where you've said goodbye, obviously in a live video. Awesome. Have a good one. See you then. Okay, so about here, we might want to finish it. We can come to edit and trim again. We can zoom in. We can scroll across so that we can see the end of our timeline there, and we can grab that end marker and we can slide it back to there, and our video is now going to finish at that point. So we've removed this extra few seconds at the end of our video here. Now we'll zoom out now, and let's say, for example, there was a chunk in the middle of it, or a couple of chunks in the middle of it that we wanted to remove. All we need to do is come across and find where they are. And again, you could just come up here and press play and skip through and find where those sections are. Let's just say that we want to remove a section from here. You come across to this point here and come down the bottom and press split. And that's going to add a split in our timeline at that point. So if we click off, you can see there's a blue line there now. So then it's just a matter of selecting that line and dragging across. We can see where we want our video to start again. So let's say that we wanted to pick it back up on the next slide here. And again, you can zoom in and really get detailed with this, but you can see now that this chunk here is grayed out in the middle. We've removed this section. So our end video now would look like it would start here, it would play through to here, and then it would jump immediately to this point here and continue through to that last blue line. So we're able to remove this first chunk, remove this second chunk, and remove the end. Now there's currently no limit as to how many of these actions you can perform. So say there was another chunk up here that we want to remove. Let's hit split there, and we want to remove all the way up to, let's remove big chunk all the way up to here. The moment we let go, that is then applied, and that chunk would be removed. If we want to undo it, we can either click and drag this and readjust that position, or if we want to undo it totally, we can either come up the top here to undo, or you can just hit the cross here, the X here, to undo that split, and that has brought it back in. Now, if you want to undo all of your splits or all of your trims, you can come down the bottom here to go clear all, and that will undo all of them. So the idea here is that you're going through, you're removing anything that you don't want in your video, or making any edits to it after your video is already up and live on YouTube. So it could be that you've forgotten something, you've left something in, something that you don't want to have in your video anymore. You can come in here and trim out that section, save your video out, and it's back live on YouTube with that edit performed. Previously, the YouTube video editor wouldn't let you remove any chunks from the middle of your videos. You could trim something off the start and you could trim something off the end, but you couldn't do anything with any of the video in the middle without needing to save it out as a totally new video. So once you've gone through and you've trimmed your video down and you've removed any sections that you don't want in here, you do need to hit the preview button down the bottom here to apply it before you can either save your video out or continue making further edits. So that's the trim tool or trim feature in here. So the next thing I want to show you here is this audio section. So if we come down here to the audio, let's click the little drop down button here to expand it out and click on the plus button here. This will open up in a new tab, and I'll pause this video when it goes to play it. But in here is where you can add and replace audio in your videos. And this will let you bring in some of YouTube's royalty-free songs or royalty-free music to use in your videos. So you can either perform a search to find music, or you can go down here and see all the top tracks or list all the tracks. It's just then a matter of finding the track that you want. So you can press play on the buttons here to play back the track. Once you're ready to add one in, all you need to do is just hit add to video, and that's going to be added in to your video. But it's really important to be aware of this slider over here, which they call audio saturation, which is really the volume levels for your video, is that it's going to default to favor the music at the highest amount, meaning that this now is your music track is overriding all of the audio in your video. Now you can turn that down to favor the original audio. So this is the volume level of the music that you have added in to your video. I'll grab this music track now and just slide it across to a piece where I am actually talking in this video. And let's just see what that sounds like now. You can see it's just the music that's played. So as we lower this and come back to this section with here. YouTube without paid ads. So in this first video, you're going to discover why YouTube is the most powerful way to build a steady stream of organic traffic. You can hear that there is now mixed. We've got the music in here with the original, but the music itself still here is pretty loud. So there's not a great amount of control over this, but you can add in music over different sections of your videos. But this is also really, really limiting. While it's pretty cool to have this feature to be able to add it in, you also can't upload your own music tracks, and you also can only add one music track. So you can see here our video, our live stream is 49 minutes long. We can only add one. If I pick another track here to add in, it's only letting you add one in, even if you're positioning them in different areas of the video. So personally, I think this is actually only really usable if you've got a section of your video that has audio in it that might be copyright infringement or something that you can't use that you definitely need to swap out, but you don't want to download and re-upload your video again, then this might be the use case to cover up that section of your video with a music track. Beyond that, it's not that useful. To apply any changes you've made, just hit Save Changes and that will be applied. Or if you haven't made any changes, just hit close on that window and you'll be taken back to your previous window, which is your timeline. Now the next feature you've got in here is the ability to add in an end screen. So if we click on add an end screen here, then there's some of the templates here that you can apply to your video directly from within this editor. You don't need to go back to the YouTube edit screen and then over to the end screen window to be able to add these. You can add them directly in your timeline from here. And there's a few different templates to choose from depending on what you actually want to show. So let's just pick this one here, 2 videos or playlists and 1 subscribe button. We'll hit apply. You can see it's taken us to the end of the video because these are only going to work in the last 20 seconds. We can zoom in and we can see those down the bottom here. And now to actually link these up, we can come up here and click on the ones that we want to make adjustments to. So let's go this video here, best video for viewer. If we want to swap that for a specific video, we can click on this, pick the video that we want to link to at the end of our videos, or we can change it to the most recent upload. These are your standard options for creating end screens at the end of your YouTube videos. And exactly the same with the subscribe button here. We can also pick them up and move them around, or if we don't want them in there, we can delete the element and they are gone. So maybe we'll have one down like this. Now the last feature that you've got in here is the ability to add a blur or to blur something out of your video. Again, the use case for this would be that you have something in there that you don't want to show, someone's face that you may not be allowed to show in your videos or don't want to show in your videos. You can blur them out here as well. Now there's a couple of options here to do it. You've got blur faces and you've got custom blurring. So if we go blur faces, it says it's going to blur faces of people who appear in your video. If we hit edit, it's actually going to go through our video and it's going to pull out the faces of anyone that sees in the video. Then all you need to do is select on the people that you want to blur out, and those faces are then blurred in the entire video. So if we put our mouse over these icons, you can actually see the time codes of when that person or that face was visible on screen. So you can see here this one was from the start to 3 minutes 16, from 4:20 to 4:21, all the different times it's detected it. So if we press on this one here, that's actually going to go through and blur out that face, my face, at all of those times. And that's what it's going to look like there. So I'll cancel out of that one. The next option is custom blurring. So if we hit edit on this one, this is where we can manually select objects in our video to blur. So the idea here is that we are playing through or going through our videos and we are drawing out the sections then that we want to blur. So let's say we go across here to, there's a great shot there of Mike. So let's say we want to blur out Mike. We just come up here and draw out a box around him. And that's now going to blur out that section. Now, if you want to add multiple blurs, then you can draw out another section that you want. You can see that you've just got an additional layer there added. And you can pick them up and you can move them around in your timeline. Now, one feature that you currently don't have is the ability to shorten this. So we can pick these up and move them around, but there's no ability to shorten this down just to highlight it for a certain amount of time. You can see that that actually wasn't shortening it. It was just changing the position of it. So again, this is a feature here that I wanted to highlight for you to show you what you can do in here. But again, unless you're masking something that you probably shouldn't have shown in your video or is stopping your video from being monetized, then you probably won't really need this feature. So we'll back out of this now. We'll hit cancel. We'll close this window. And we're back to our editing interface. So once we're done with all of our edits and changes we want to make, you come up here to save. And then it says that it might take a few hours to apply your changes. During that time, your viewers will see the current version of your video. You won't be able to make any other changes to your video until it's done, but you can leave this site. So once you hit save and those changes are made to your videos, feel free to close your browser down, to leave your computer. Those changes are going to be made without you needing to be there or to do anything else. Now, I do want to stress here again that any of these changes that you're making, whether it's just trimming off a section of your video or taking out entire chunks of your videos, all of these will be saved over the original video. So there's no need to download your video and re-upload it again. You can make these changes while your video is already live on YouTube. And that is what makes this YouTube editor so powerful. It's definitely not the most full-featured video editing application. There's a lot of things that you can't do and a lot of restrictions in here, but the power really is in letting you make these minor edits to your videos while they're live without the need to create it as a new YouTube video. So that's a complete walkthrough on the YouTube editor. Now, if you're looking to improve your editing game, no matter which software or app you're using to edit your videos, then check out the video linked on screen now for the most efficient way to edit your videos down with minimal wasted time or rework. And I'll see you in the next video.